Hello everybody and welcome back to another lesson. Today I want to take a quick look at a way of spicing up your arpeggio sound by utilizing intervals. So on the first layer you'll have your arpeggio notes, and then on the second layer we're going to add intervals to be played at the same time as the notes from the arpeggio. The two intervals I've chosen for this exercise is a 7th interval and a 6th interval. And I'm going to show you how to do this over the 4 arpeggio shapes we covered in a previous lesson: major, minor, dominant, and half diminished. I'll leave a link to that lesson in the description in case you're not familiar with those shapes. So we're going to start on our A major 7 arpeggio. So an A is on our 5th fret on the low E string. That's a major 7 chord. Here's what it sounds like with the intervals. Cool, right? So what I'm playing there on the first note of the arpeggio is a major 7th accompanying note or interval. And then I go to the next note in the arpeggio and play a 6th interval, a major 6th interval. Then I come to the 7th degree of the arpeggio and play a major 6th interval again. Now I'm at the root note, 1 octave higher, the beginning note of the arpeggio, and I play again a 7th interval, a major 7th. Now to the 3rd degree of the major arpeggio with a 6th, major 6th interval, and then up to the 5th degree with a major 6th. And then the rest are played the same but in reverse. Now let's look at our dominant 7 arpeggio, and you'll see it's incredibly similar to the major arpeggio, but with one note difference, because the formula for a major 7 arpeggio is 1 3 5 7, and the formula for a dominant 7 arpeggio is 1 3 5 flat 7, or the 7th degree is flattened. So that's extremely evident in the first interval. So instead of starting here, like we did with major, we're going to flatten that note by 1 semitone, because that's the note that's in our chord. Flat 7, major 6th, major 6th, major 6th, flat 7th, major 6th, and major 6, and then back. Now let's look at our minor, and again if we quickly address our arpeggio formulas, major was 1 3 5 7, dominant was 1 3 5 flat 7, and then to get a minor you have to flatten one more note, which is our 3rd, so then we'll have 1 flat 3 5 flat 7, and a minor chord looks like this, a minor 7 chord. 7th, 6th, 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 7th, 6th, 6th. This is tough to say. 6th, 6th, 7th, 6th, 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 7th. And now half diminished. The same pattern of intervals as well. 7th, 6th, 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 7th, 6th, 7th. I'd like to give you a quick theoretical explanation on arpeggios and a sort of formula guide so you can sort of better understand what's happening in between these 4 arpeggios. So if we start with a major arpeggio, which comes from a scale, you just take notes in thirds from a scale. So for example with A, we start with a root note, an A, then we take a note a third up, which is a C sharp, and then we take a note from another third up, which is an E, and then we go up another third, which is a G sharp, and then we move up 1 semitone to be at the root note again, but an octave higher. If we were to write that out as a formula, it would look like 1, 3, 5, 7. And each number just represents the scale tone we're playing. I hope that makes sense. Now, if we want to transition from our major sound to our dominant sound, we have to understand like which note is different. And in this case, a dominant arpeggio has a 1, has a 3, it has a 5, and then the 7th degree of the arpeggio is flattened by 1 semitone. So the formula would be 1, 3, 5, flat 7, meaning 1, 3, 5, flat 7. The 7th degree of our major arpeggio was here, so we brought it down 1 semitone. It's a major chord, a dominant chord. Now to get from our dominant arpeggio to our minor arpeggio, we have to continue to change the formula. So we need to flatten another chord tone. So now our minor arpeggio would be 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. So here's what that would look like. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Back to our root note. So we still have 2 notes that are the same as our major 7 arpeggio right now, and that is our 1 and our 5. Hopefully all of this is still making sense, and we'll continue to move on. Now to get from our minor to our half diminished arpeggio, we have to flatten one more thing, and that is the 5th degree of the arpeggio. So now the formula for our minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished arpeggio would be 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7, like this. 1, flat 3, flat 5, ooh, flat 7, 1. So now from half diminished to major, the only note that stayed the same is our root note, because we've done it all in the same key. And I hope by explaining it to you like this, you can see the interconnectedness and relationship between these 3 arpeggios. Now I want to make a quick disclaimer. This has nothing to do with diatonic harmony, moving within a key, or understanding how like chord progressions work diatonically, whether they're major or minor. I haven't addressed any of that. All I'm trying to do is to give you more context in how these arpeggios work and how they, as shapes, relate to one another on the guitar. And this is super helpful for guitar because it's a very shape-driven instrument. So if you can memorize the shapes and understand the relationship between the shapes, it's going to help you dive a lot deeper into music when you're trying to learn a new song or trying to improvise your way around a new form. So these are just tools to add to your tool belt. I really hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments. I would strongly recommend you, once you've learned these shapes and memorized them, do the same thing but with different intervals. Try playing your major 7 arpeggio but all in thirds, or alternate between thirds and fifths, or fourths, or sixths, or major tenths. Like, let your imagination be your limit. And the more you understand and memorize, the more sort of tools you'll have access to for whatever you want to do musically. Let me know what you thought about this lesson in the comments. I really hope it all makes sense and that there's something in this that you can take away. That's it for now. Really hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around. See you guys at the next lesson. Happy practice.